Hi there, I'm Christopher, and we're going to play a game of Cassino in Carte Blanche. And we start the game, as usual, by choosing who's going to be the dealer first, and it is going to be I. That just determines who gets to go first, which means Blanche is actually going to get to go first and go over. She's going to take a turn while I try to explain how this game works. Cassino is a fishing game. So in a fishing game, players have cards in their hands, and there are also cards on the table. Right now there's just the queen on the table, but over the course of the game you'll see there are more. And you typically have two options in a fishing game. You can add a card from your hand to the cards that are on the table, the pool of available cards. In Cassino, that's called trailing. Or you can capture cards, which would be matching a card in your hand to one or more that are on the table in order to collect them for points. Now, in this case, the only card that's available to be captured is a queen, and as you might guess, that gets captured with a queen, and I don't have one. So I'm actually going to just trail this 3. Cassino has another trick up its sleeve. So Blanche did have a 3, and she just immediately captured the card that I played. Cassino does have another trick up its sleeve, which is called building, and that will certainly come up later. But for right now, you can see how capturing works. So when you capture a card in Cassino, you're matching the values. So this 6 could capture a 6. However, you can also capture cards that add up to the value that you're talking about. So this 6 can actually capture the 4 and the 2. And so you can see the way that works here. We're over on the right, we're capturing with a 6. So we need to get cards that add up to 6. And if I put the 4, you can see that we have a 4 that is not part of anything yet, but with the 2, they combine now, and that adds up to 6. And so I'm able to capture all of those cards in one shot, like that. Whoop. And all the cards that you capture, you just collect, and they get scored later. You score for the cards. We play through the whole deck, and then you score for the cards that you captured over the course of the game. And so we have the little counters here. The specifics will make sense in a bit, but you can see that I've captured 3 cards. I've captured no spades, no aces, and I don't have the 10 of diamonds or the 2 of spades. Those will be interesting later. So we'll capture this 8. So this is kind of the normal way to do it, would be to capture exact values like this. That's pretty straightforward, but you can capture cards that add up as well. All right, I'm going to trail a 5. See how this goes here. Okay, so this is a good example to talk about building. So far you've seen trailing and capturing, and I could trail this 4, put it on the table, and then there would be a 5 and a 4 on the table. Blanche would take her turn, and if it still looked like this when it came back to me, I'd be able to capture them both with the 9, because 5 and 4 add up to 9. I'd be able to take them both. However, if Blanche happened to have a 6, for example, if I were to trail this 4, she would not only capture the 6, but she would probably also capture the 2 and the 4, and it would be no good for me. That's not, now there's nothing for me to capture. So there is a way for me to protect this 4 and make it so that it only counts as part of a 9, and that's called building. So I can build with 1 card in my hand plus any number of cards on the table and make the specific card that I want. I want to make a 9 so that I can capture it. So the way that I do that is I'd say I want to build with this 4, and I'm going to build, I have to choose what card in my hand am I trying to build, and I'm going to say I'm going to build a 9. This works very similar to the capturing. I would choose the other cards on the table that I'm going to make part of this build, and I'm trying to make a 9, so I have to add the 5 to it. I could keep going, but in this case I can't, because I could put the 2 and the 6, but that doesn't add up to 9. I can make any number of groups of 9s as I can make, but there are no other 9s available. It's just this 5 on the table and the 4 in my hand, and if I choose build, they will combine and then go onto the table as a 9. Perfect. So that 9 there is just like a normal 9. It's as if there were a 9 of spades on the table. So I can now, with this 9, capture this. And you can see what I'm actually capturing is the 5 and the 4 from before, but it acts as a 9. They kind of get combined into one card. And there we go. And we keep going like this until the deck is empty, and then we score up. But we'll see how the rest of the game turns out here. I'm going to capture the king. So get that. Blanche captures a queen. And then I will capture this jack, why not? Ooh, so same thing. I could trail this 5 and hope that the 5 and the 2 stick around, but I could also build a 7. 5 and the 2 combined to make a 7. Now she could capture that 7. It's near my side of the table for some reasons that I can mention in a bit, but it's not mine. It's on the table for anybody to capture. So if she happened to have a 7, she could have captured it, but she did not. And so it's still there for me. But the advantage is the 5 and the 2 that were inside, they're protected. They can only be captured as part of that build, the collection of cards. Let's trail this. Oh, okay. Not the best move, but that's all right. Ooh, see, now if I had done this in a different order, things would have worked out nicely. I hope she doesn't have another 8. Okay. It's working out fine. Okay, this is a nice little example here. So the build that you saw before is what's called a single build, because it's one set of cards that adds up to the value we're trying to make. So when we made the 9 before from a 5 and a 4, we were just making 1 9, so it's a single build. But you can have as many of that value of card in the build as you want. So if I had, the 5 and the 4 and a 7 and a 2, that could still be one build of 9s. But when it has more than one set, it's called a multiple build. And in fact, I can make a multiple build here of a 7 because I have a 7 and I can make a 7 by combining this 7 with this 7. I just said the word 7 many times, but if you look over on the side, you can see that it's multiple groups of 7. They just all happen to be the card that is valued 7, but they would be the same if there were a 5 and a 2 or an ace, a 2 and a 4 or something. I've got multiple sets of 7s. This is a slightly different type of build, and it looks different as well. It looks a little different on the side there because we're building 7s. I can go over the difference in a moment, but this works the same as everything else. And in fact, it's worth noting that the 7 is out there and I can capture it, but I don't have to capture it immediately. So this 9, for instance, can capture this 8 and this ace. It's fine that this 7 is here. The one rule is I do need to capture this 7. So I cannot, for example, use this 7 to do something else and not capture it. I have to capture, this build has to be captured by somebody before we get a new hand of cards. But it's fine. If I do this 8 and ace, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. If I do this 8 and ace, I can capture those. That's fine because I'm still able to capture this 7. Nothing has changed. It is time for me to do it now. One rule when you have a build that you've made, and it's Blanche likes to put it near the person who made it. I cannot trail while you have a build that's uncaptured. So that's one of the restrictions. Once you have a build, is you're not allowed to just trail the rest of your cards. But I do have the 7 I need. And now I captured all those 7s, one shot. And I'll trail this jack, and now it's the end here. We've got the last couple cards. And I'm going to, so I could capture the 3 with the 3, but the 3 is a spade, and spades are good in this game, although actually I'm past the point where a spade would be helpful for me. I'm looking at the counters right now, but aces are also good. So it might actually be slightly better for me to build a 4 out of my ace and that 3. Now again, it technically, if she's got a 4, okay, it's fine. She did not have a 4, or if she chose not to play it, which I'm guessing she just didn't have one. But I can capture this 4, and I get the 3, which was a spade, and an ace. Aces are good in this game to capture. Ooh. I don't have a way to capture that one, as I'm talking about how great they are. Ooh, and I can capture this. So I will capture the ace and the 9 because they add up to 10. And then, so this is the last turn for this round. And the last person to capture a card gets all the cards that are left on the table. So in addition to this 10, ace, and 9, I'm also going to get that 3 because I'm the last one to have captured cards. So I'm going to get them all. And then we get to see the summary here. So these are all the cards that I captured. You can see the I captured 28 cards. Blanche captured 24. I captured 6 spades. She captured 7 spades. And then I got 3 aces. She got an ace. And then the 10 of diamonds and the 2 of spades. The reason this breakdown is here is because these are the things that score points. So the first thing you get points for is 3 points for the person who collected the most cards. I got 28 to her 24, so I got those 3 points. Then it's 1 point for the player who collected the most spades. She has 7 to my 6, she gets that 1 point. Aces are worth a point apiece, so I have 3 aces, I get 3 points, she has 1, she gets 1. And then the 10 of diamonds and the 2 of spades are just special cards. The 10 of diamonds is called Big Cassino, and it's worth 2 points. And the 2 of spades is called Little Cassino, and it's worth 1 point. Blanche got both of those, so she gets those points. So there are 11 points on offer every round. The most cards one is interesting because if you both have the same, if you both get 26 cards, nobody gets those points. So there's a chance that there will only be 8 points available in a given round, but there are up to 11 points available. This time I got 6 of them, she got 5. And the game is the game plays until somebody gets 21 points, and whoever has the most points at that moment wins. All right, so now it's me. Okay, so talking a little bit more about builds, the way that the builds work, you need to have the card that would capture the build. So for example, it looks, when we were talking before, it looks like I might be able to combine all these 2s and make a big collection of 2s, a multiple build of 2s, but I can't because I would need to have the 2 left in my hand to capture it. And in this case, I only have 1 2. It would have to, I'd be using it to make the build, but there'd be nothing left in my hand to capture it. That's not allowed. I could, however, make it a 4. I don't know if I'm actually going to just yet, but I could build a 4 with this. That's fine because the 4 will remain in my hand. It's the 2 that I'm playing right now. And so that would be fine. I don't know if I actually want that just yet, but I could use this 2 to capture those 2s. Okay, I've got a couple options here and I'm not quite sure which one I want. Yeah, I'm going to do that. We will capture these 2s. And it includes the 2 of spades, which, as just mentioned, is worth a point. So you'll see in the counter, there's a little check mark because I have the 2 of spades now. Hopefully the counter makes a little bit more sense now to why you would want to know how many of each of those things a player has captured. Okay, so I might want to trail this 10. So you'll notice I can't capture because there's nothing on the table to capture, and I can't build because you need to include a card on the table to build, and there are no cards there for me to do that. So my only option for any of these is to trail, and I might as well trail the 10 in the hopes that I get to capture it on my next turn, and I do. So I got the 10s. It's not the 10 of diamonds, but that's okay. Cards are still cards. Ooh, okay. So now we just saw that aces are very good because they're just straight up points. And I, having 2 aces in my hand, can do a build of aces, which is fun and exciting. So I am building aces. Okay, so now, like I wanted to, I can capture those aces with this ace. That's 3 points. Bop, bop, bop. Very nice. Don't really have much else going on, but that's okay. I got the aces. I feel good about that. Let's see. I can capture. I got a couple different things I can capture here, but we'll start here. See how it goes. Ooh, see now, I was going to go for that, but I can't now. That's okay. That is okay. Might as well trail the queen and see what happens. No luck. Thought maybe I'd get something I can capture with that 6, but did not happen. Ooh, but now I know I can capture that queen because the other 2 queens have already happened. So that's a guaranteed move for me. So I might as well just leave it there and try to make some other things happen. Capture this 5 and 2 with the 7. I could have captured the 5 with the 5, but obviously I get more cards this way, so better to get more cards, usually. And now, capture the queen. Ooh, and a 5. Look, nice how if I had played the 5, if I had trailed the 5 earlier, Blanche would have been able to capture it. So I'm kind of glad that worked out that way. Very nice. Okay. We'll capture the 8. Ooh, now I could capture 3 with 3, or I can make a build with a 6. That way I'm going to get all of these cards. Well, it's Blanche's turn first. Okay. Now this is actually a good example, a good time to give an example here. So this is a single build of 6. You can see it's made up of a 3 and a 3. It's one set of cards that adds up to 6. And the value is faded out because it is just like a normal 6. It's exactly like if there were a 6 of clubs or whatever. Which means if there were, let's say, a 4 on the table, I could use this 10 to capture the 6 and the 4. Like that would be totally fine. But if this were the multiple type, where it was multiple 6s together, I could not do that. And I'm hoping that example comes up so I could show you more concretely. But for now, we will just capture the 6. It's tough when you don't set up the example that you want to showcase, and you just kind of have to hope it happens naturally. Now I'm in pretty good shape here because I've got 28 cards collected, so definitely getting most cards. I have 8 spades, so I'm definitely getting most spades. I have 3 aces, and I have the 2 of spades. So this is feeling like a pretty good round for me. I think I'm going to get 9 points. Well, there's 1 ace outstanding, actually, which she has. And there it is. She was probably hoping she could do something else with that, but instead it is I. So we'll just bring this up. So yes, I got everything but the big casino. So that's 9 points total for me, 2 for Blanche. And again, we're playing to 21, or the game ends when someone gets to 21, I should say. We're going to build a 10 with this 9 and my ace. And that we're actually building 10s. It's a multiple build of 10s because there's 2 sets of 10. You can see that they're in columns. So there's a 10 and there's a 9 and an ace. Or 2 rows, I should say. Because that's the correct word. So I should say it. 6s. Okay, I only need to get 6 points to trigger the end of the game here. So let's see what we can manage. Go with a 2. Ooh, okay, so we can make a very nice 10 here. If I use this 8, I could build a 10 with the 2, but I could also toss in the 7 and 3 because they also add up to 10. It's multiple sets of 10, and they will just collect here on the side of the table. And I hope that Blanche doesn't have a 10, and she doesn't. So I get to get them all. I don't get it. I don't get to do anything fancy with that leftover 8, but that's fine. Ooh, in fact, she gets it along with an ace. Ooh. That's all right. I've been decently lucky with my captures. I'm fine with her getting a couple. We're friends. We are friends. For some reason, I thought that added up to 6, but it does not. Interesting set of 5s there. Yeah. Take a queen. Ooh, she takes the 6, and I'm going to take the king. When you take, just a fun little note here, when you take, if your capture takes all the cards that are remaining on the table, that's called a sweep. Some people play where a sweep is worth a point unto itself. Blanche does not play that way, but she does award you bonus pennies for sweeps. So I'm going to get a bonus penny at the end of this session, which is nice. Ooh. And I guess technically she's going to give herself a bonus penny. That doesn't really manifest in the game itself, but she did just get a sweep of her own. Ooh, I'll take a jack. I was kind of hoping for that 9 myself. Well, I can make an 8. Oh, she does not have the 8 to capture it. It is mine. She does have that 4. Ooh, and now I'm going to get this, which means I just barely get all the things I need. In fact, if we go through this, yes, I win. Very nice. That was a good, nice balanced game. Got back and forth a bit there. I liked that. Well, I hope you enjoyed that playthrough of Cassino. If you're interested in seeing gameplay of any of the other games in the collection, there are videos for each one. And there's also an overview video that kind of showcases the whole Carte Blanche experience. If you want to get more information, keep up to date, then you can check out carteblanche.cards. And thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you at the table.